So close your eyes and actually, never mind. You don't really have to close your eyes, but do me a favor and think of a superhero. Now, think of a superhero with the best rogues gallery. If you said Batman, then you are correct. In my opinion, Batman has the best rogues gallery. A lot of his villains are very colorful, you know, they all have their different quirks, their different things that make them unique. Sometimes they can be a little disturbing, a little dark, a little scary, if you will. What's the haps? Well, thank you for popping in. Batman's rogues gallery, like I said, is by far my favorite of any superhero. Spider-Man is a close second, I will say. But today we're gonna be ranking our. Today we're going to be talking about the ready for it? The scariest Batman villains of all time, guys. I'm gonna make a list of the scariest Batman villains that scared me a lot. We don't have them listed on there, but we have honorable mentions on there. Without further ado, let's get right into the scariest Batman villain. What do you think, Adagadega? What do you think? What do you think about the scariest Bat? I'm talking to an inanimate object, bro. What am I doing, bro? Just wanted to say before we get much further into the video, I'm going to be talking about some pretty disturbing and disturbed characters. They're fictional, everything's fictional, but just a warning before you guys get too much further in the video. I can't roll my R's. Ragdoll! Ragdoll is our first honorable mention. Ragdoll is a triple-jointed contortionist. He's a villain from the Batman universe, the DC universe, and he is a robber. I put him in honorable mentions because he has a pretty scary look, and the way that he moves around, because he's so, you know, triple-jointed or whatever, he's very creepy the way he moves. So that's mainly the reason why I put him in the honorable mentions, just because the way he looks and the way he moves around. Like, he can probably fit his entire body into a box, which is impressive. Pretty crazy powers, pretty crazy thing you could do. Not many people could do that, which is why he is very, you know, flimsy dude. He's kind of a Z-list Batman villain, if I'm being completely honest. Like, he's kind of irrelevant in the Batman universe, but yeah, like, hey, irrelevant. I don't know too much about Ragdoll personally because I don't read many comic books. I have a big collection of Batman comics that I just don't read. Ragdoll, the way his mask looks, the way he looks is just pretty scary. I remember seeing him and being like, ooh, kind of a creepy looking dude, kind of like another Scarecrow. Which leads us into our next honorable mention. One of my favorite Batman villains of all time. Let me just write it down. So Scarecrow is one of my favorite Batman villains of all time. I just love the way he looks. I love the stuff that he does. I like his backstory. He's kind of like a psychiatric doctor, but he is secretly evil. Like, he's secretly not even curing patients, and he is evil himself, and he has his own problems, his own set of issues. Very evil sounding guy. A very bad dude. He can obviously make people see hallucinations and make them be scared and fearful and all that jazz. From the Dark Knight trilogy and in the comics, in the Batman animated series, man, he just can't be beat. He's a great villain. What can I say? I've never really been that scared of him. I've been more of a fan than anything, more of a fanboy. The next honorable mention is the Mad Hatter. So the whole thing behind the Mad Hatter is that he's kind of like crazy. He's kind of crazy. He thinks that he is the actual Mad Hatter, and he is obsessed with this girl named Alice, and just like, you know, Alice in Wonderland. And on the Batman the animated series, you know, he's been on there a little bit. Not as scary on there as he is in the comics, I will say. As someone who's read some of the comics that he's been in, he's a lot scarier in the comics. He does a lot more brutal things to people. Terrible guy, which is why he's in the honorable mentions. He's very, you know, cuckoo. Could do a lot of bad things to people. Let's just say that. Mad Hatter has that capacity. He has the Joker style insanity that most Batman villains have. They're all pretty crazy. So Mad Hatter, a good honorable mention in my opinion, for a very scary villain. Number 5, we've got to give it to the Court of Owls. I got a new drink. But the Court of Owls is a group of villains that you guys have probably never heard of before. They've only been in the comic books, which I would love to see them adapted into a movie. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's where Matt Reeves' The Batman is going. They're kind of going down that path, but I would love to see the Court of Owls in a movie, because there's a lot of potential there. And we can they can also maybe say that Bruce's parents were a part of it. I don't know if that's actually a storyline from the comic books. They could definitely dive into, like, you know, the same thing that kind of the first Batman movie did, where they dove into, like, the rich and the popular being corrupt in the city. They could also kind of dive into that pretty well with that, I think. But anyways, the Court of Owls is a group of the wealthiest and richest people in Gotham, and they are evil. They are evil, man. Very bad. Very bad. They control Gotham underground. Like, they're kind of an underground organization. I think that they're actually in the sewers. They're in the sewers of Gotham, but they meet there. They wear these owl masks that are haunting at best. Gaddaga, what do you think? The amount of power they have is very scary, in my opinion, and the way they look scary. And they also have a little group inside of that group. They're called the Talons, and they are the assassins that carry out the hits. And yeah, the Talons, man, they're some scary dudes, bruh. Some scary dudes. Court of Owls, scary dudes, man. Although you could probably beat up the main Court of Owls pretty easily. I don't know about the Talons. It's probably another story. The amount of power they have is the reason why Court of Owls is number 5, because they could probably control the entire city if they wanted to. They could probably mess some people up. Mess some people up, man. And just knowing that there are people living in the sewers, man, that alone just gives me the heebie-jeebies, you know? Don't want to mess with that. Not at all. Number 4, Mr. Bloom. Mr. Bloom. He looks like if Slender Man had a flower on his mask. That's the best. That's the greatest description I could give you, probably, of what Mr. Bloom is. That's what he looks like. He's like an entity that nobody even knows who he is. He kind of just spawned out of the ground one day and wanted to kill everyone in Gotham and start over, make a new fresh patch of flowers, if you know what I mean. And he started going on a violent rampage, and I think he worked for the Penguin at one point. Very very weird guy. I like the way he looks. I like the costume. The mystery surrounding him is kind of the draw there. Just stand still. Stand still, microphone! So coming in at number 3, I haven't written it down yet. Cornelius Stirk. Another one that is kind of obscure, kind of an obscure villain. He's a cannibal. I mean, I would not want to live in Gotham. Let's make that clear. Holy moly. But this dude, man, this dude is he's a mess. He's a cannibal mess. He's a killer, stealer, wrecking machine. And kind of a lesser known Batman villain, but still, the reason why he's on this list is because the fact that he's a cannibal, the fact that he's scary looking. Look at this face, very haunting indeed. Crazy guy. Look at this dude right here. Look at him. He's a character right now, you know what I'm saying? And another reason why Cornelius Stirk is so scary is because he actually has this superpower to make people hallucinate and to make people get scared. Like, bro is Scarecrow on another level. And he's a reoccurring character, apparently, in the Batman comic books, which I had no idea about. Professor Pig. Kind of obscure. I feel like he's more well-known now than he used to be. He's like actually kind of a newer Batman villain. He wears a pig mask. Already scary. Already scary. Cuts up his victims. He cuts up his victims, and he's like a butcher villain, kind of. And he, like, makes them get mind controlled. He makes people work for him, get mind controlled, do his own bidding. He's in the Arkham games, I think, the Batman games. I've never played them before. Probably should get on that because I've heard they were pretty dang good. He is just, yeah, he seems like a terrible dude, and very scary, very scary. If you are in Gotham and you get captured by him, you probably will not make it out alive. Coming in at number 1, we've got Kite Man. It's the Joker. It's the Joker. It's the Joker. The Joker is probably the most popular villain besides, I would say, Green Goblin. Him and Green Goblin, and maybe Venom. They're all 3 kind of tied. And now I guess Thanos. Holy crap! There's a lot of villains. Okay, I would say those 4 are the big 4 villains of anything besides Darth Vader. Crap! I hate whenever I mess things up, man. Everybody knows who the Joker is. There's a movie about him. He's in multiple Batman movies. I think he's in every single Batman iteration. You cannot make Batman without making the Joker. He's like 2 sides of the same coin type of deal. The Joker is a terrifying character. Everybody knows that. Look at Batman the Killing Joke. Look at that comic book. He does some messed up things to my boy Jim Gordon. And that ending scene with him falling and dying and laughing, like the laughing box laughing, that actually gave me nightmares, dude. I like that scene gives me the shivers. It gives me the shivers. I hate clowns. I've said that many times already. But the Joker ain't messing with him, bro. Ain't messing with him. One of my favorite villains of all time. One of, like, from anything, one of the scariest Batman villains, the scariest Batman villain, in my opinion. He's just got a bag of tricks, and you never know. He's a wild card. You never know what he's going to do next. So, the Joker, easily the #1 pick here, in my opinion. According to my calculations, the Joker is the best, the scariest, and the one that probably scares me the most, even now, man, even now. But that wraps up my list for the scariest Batman villains. Freak me out, absolutely horrifying. They would never want to live on a world where they are there, and thank goodness they're fictional. Although there are probably people in the real world that mimic them, that are like these people. I never want to see them, never want to meet them, never want to know who they are, quite frankly. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm going to invest in a better list than this, okay? This is just kind of I'm going to invest into a whiteboard, okay? Or like a board where I can have it, where I can like... But yeah, yeah. That's all the time I've... Deuces.